Welcome to the Artists Forum. My name is Clent Bowers, and I'm your host for the West Coast version. Today we are going to interview Mr. Matthew Cherry, Matthew A. Cherry, and his new film called The Last Fall. Matthew, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
We're doing really wonderful, and it's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you, man. No, thank you for having me.
I've seen this movie,
Okay.
and I want to talk about it because I know it opens this Friday. It's going to run, and it's going to be at the Rave in Los Angeles. And we want everybody to get out and see it. We want the numbers to be high. We want to support it. It's a wonderful film. Has a little bit of comedy, but it's a drama, isn't it?
Very much so.
A drama. And it stars some incredible people. Who are some of your cast members?
Well, it stars Lance Gross, who you guys might know from Tyler Perry's House of Pain. Vanessa Bell Calloway, she's been in everything. Nicole Bahari, who's an amazing talent. Harry Lennox, Obo Babatunde, Darren DeWitt Henson, and Keith David. So we got some good newer faces and some great veterans too.
How did you come about this story? Where did you find this story?
Well, I'm a former NFL player. It's very much loosely based on my life. I played in the NFL for 3 years, from 04 to 06, right out of college. I went to a small school in Ohio, the University of Akron, which is like 30 minutes underneath Cleveland. And I signed as an undrafted free agent, and played in the league. And it's interesting because there's this big kind of perception versus reality issue that I find, particularly with the NFL. A lot of people, they kind of lump up the NBA, baseball, and like all the other sports in with the NFL and assume that, everybody's getting like LeBron money and everybody's getting Kobe money and everybody's getting even Tom Brady money, when it's not really like that, specifically in the NFL. The NFL is the only professional sports league that doesn't have guaranteed contracts. So whatever they paid you, that's all they owe you. If they cut you, they don't owe you anything. Unlike any other league, if you get injured or they cut you, they still have to pay you the bulk of your salary. But the NFL, they don't. Only 4% of people that make it to the NFL have a career that lasts longer than 4 seasons. 78% of players who that leave the game or end up either bankrupt, divorced, or unemployed 2 years after leaving the game. So there's this just huge kind of disconnect, I think, between the perception and the reality. A lot of people look at these major contracts as some of the elite, super elite players are signing, and they think that everybody is getting those deals. And a lot of times, it's set up where, a lot of times you don't get to the big money until your second contract, which you typically sign in your 4th or 5th year, but the average career is only 3, so most people don't see it. So I just wanted to really just show, tell that story, dealing with these problems, trying to transition out of the game, and we just felt like it was a good time to tell the story, so that's where it came from.
It's an excellent story, and the thing with Lance, your character in the play, loosely based. Because I was going to ask you, did you have? Well, you're from Chicago, right? And then you got picked up in Chicago, yes?
No, my rookie year I was with the Jaguars, so I was in Jacksonville. I played for Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Baltimore, and Carolina.
When you left, did you go back home in the same way? Did you not had you not saved and?
Well, here's the thing about it. It really wasn't a matter of not saving. It just was a matter of really not making money like that. My rookie year, for example, I was on the practice squad. And I put it in perspective, I made more money the year I was a set PA on the TV show Heroes than I did my rookie year when I was on the practice squad. So some people might think like, these guys just blew all this crazy money. Right. I mean, after taxes, man, I ended up making like maybe $38,000 my rookie year. In the league. So, a lot of people don't really understand that, and that's pretty much what a salary is for a person working a regular 9-to-5 job, that's working check to check. So, trying to actually stretch that out, for years and years and years, it's just, you can't do it. And then you're only getting paid for those 16 weeks during the season.
I wanted to ask you, how did you make the transition from being a ball player to a movie?
I mean, it definitely was very, I know I've lived a life that's definitely 1 in a million with those two kind of career paths. But I was always interested in production, with TV and film. It was my major in college. I had a double major in radio, TV, broadcast, and media production.
Oh, okay.
But Akron wasn't like a big, television school. It wasn't like a film school.
You went.
Right. It wasn't like a film school or anything. But, I paid attention. I did a lot of radio. I did more radio stuff. And, a lot of this stuff kind of translates over to like editing. When it came to like trying to edit the movie. But when I first got into the league, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be like, I knew I wasn't gonna be around for long because a lot of it is so political. I mean, think about it. coming into training camp, they sign like 80 guys are roughly on the roster. By the time the first game starts, they have to whittle that down to 53. From that 53, only 45 suit up. So it's already set up for half the guys that are here to not be there by the time the season starts. So I came into the situation as an undrafted free agent. Just was looking forward to some stability. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna just come out here to LA and basically reinvent myself. I found out about this program called Streetlights, which is a nonprofit organization that helps men and women of color. They train you for jobs as a production assistant on set, and that was kind of like my only into the industry because I didn't know anybody. So I'm like, man, if I can go out here, get in this program, and help you get your first couple of jobs too. Like, I got my foot in the door. So luckily I applied and I got in. I was a set PA on Girlfriends for their last season, The Game, which is about football wives, I guess. And then Heroes was the last show I was on. And, when I was on Heroes, I started seeing, it was interesting because Girlfriends in The Game, I fully expected to see African-American directors because they were black shows. But I saw 3 African-American directors on Heroes. And I'm like, this is some high concept sci-fi type stuff. I'm like, huh. Like, that was the first time I really thought, like, wow. Because I never thought about it or thought about myself, like, maybe this is something that I could do.
Right.
But seeing somebody that looked like me running the show, when really none of the main cast members were African-American, I was like, damn, okay, maybe this is something. And I just took it and ran with it. And I was like, okay, now how am I going to try to figure out a way to get into this filmmaking thing? And I started out with music videos, did more like R&B, neo-soul videos, like Bilal. I've worked with Bilal, Layla Hathaway, Kindred the Family Soul, Jasmine Sullivan. So, with just kind of having this knowledge, man, they made us do a 5-year plan my first year when I was in LA for the Streetlights. And I remember specifically writing in this plan, like, I want to have, whatever it is I'm going to do, like, I want to already be in it. That was the main reason why I retired 3 years out of the league, because I still probably could be playing, but I was just like, I don't want to be 30 years old and just now getting out and just now trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a nice learning curve. It might be, it takes you roughly 5, 6, 7, 8, it takes you a decent amount of time to really just even learn it and to get your footing. So I didn't want to be 30 coming into my 40s just now trying to start out. And so, they say write what you know. And, I've done a short film and all these other things, but I wanted to do a feature. And none of the scripts that were coming to me interested me to that level. Mm-hmm. Because as you know, with filmmaking, man, like, you have to be able to answer every question. Why is the shirt green? Why is he upset here and not happy? Why is the mom acting like, you have to you have to know it like to your soul, to your core, because everybody's looking for you for direction. Like, how is the tone of this movie going to be? And it being loosely based off of my life, it being loosely based off of my parents, it being loosely based off of my experience in the league, I was able to tell it in a very, I feel, honest and authentic way, in a way that was kind of unique to what we've seen portrayals of athletes. I think a lot of times we try to see them, they're very arrogant, very cocky. You you never really would see a guy trying to even date a woman that had a child already. You know what I'm saying? You never really show a black woman supporting her man, and him not having no money, and she's still there holding him down. So we just really wanted to just show a different side of the game, and that's kind of how it all came together. Streetlights. Is it still in existence? Yeah.
Okay, so all you listeners out there,
streetlights.org is the website.
Streetlights.org, and does it take all ages?
Or
only young people?
I don't think there's an age limit. I mean,
how did you fund your movie?
Well, our budget was pretty much like under 200. We did it for about 180.
And how did you raise your money?
Man, it's a crazy story. So it has like 2 or 3 parts. So initially we wanted to raise some money on Indiegogo, like the crowdfunding sites.
Right.
And it was really more of a matter of just kind of raising awareness, because you don't want to just come out, hey, producers, we need money. So it was kind of like, okay, if they see you doing, if you're doing, if you're putting yourself out there and you're actually actively trying to get funding yourself, it provides people with the opportunity that may have the resources to say, hey, this interests me. Maybe I want to come apart. We were trying to raise this random amount, $16,832. That's the amount we said. Very unique number. Don't even ask me how we came up with it. It was just, we wanted to do something quirky. So put it out there. And 2 days after we did our campaign, I'm really active on social media, Twitter, Facebook. And this lady was following me, and she wrote me. She was like, I never click on these links. That's how it always starts, right? Never click on these links. But I clicked on yours, and it just really interested me. You know, my husband plays in the NFL right now. He's about to retire. His name is Ellis Hobbs. He plays for the Eagles, and you know, we're looking to try to get out of that, and you know, we might want to fund this project. And so we ended up bringing them on board as executive producers. You know, just randomly by chance.
Who did you do your casting through?
It was weird actually, because it was like part networking, part casting. So like I had actually PA'd on Girlfriends with Oba. Oba was on set as was like a guest cast on Girlfriends, and I never even really used to talk to to the actors like that. You know, you don't want them to think you're like a fan or a groupie or something. But I just felt compelled to I was like, man, this is a good brother, man. He was just dropping so much knowledge and so much game. And I was like, man, you know, do you mind if I just keep your email? You know what I mean? Never know one day. And so when the project came along, it was like 2 or 3 people like that. I met Vanessa at some award show, the Inner City Destiny Awards.
Also New York girl.
Yeah, got her info. Harry Lennox I met at this Mokiti event, this Men of Color in the Industry, kind of, you know, like local group that happens here in LA. So I met like 3 of my veterans just randomly by chance, but I had got all their contact info. And so when the project came up, I'm like, damn, you know, these are 3 people I actually would like to really work with. So I reached out to those 3. Lance, we had a mutual friend, one of my best friends out here. We both PA'd on Girlfriends together. And so he went to Howard with Lance. So we were able to get him a script directly, and he dug it. And, you know, and that role is so unique because you have to look like a football player, you know, a certain height, a certain build, a certain like kind of swagger, and definitely a certain empathy, because you know you very much want to root for this guy. And there really weren't too many guys I felt that were in that age range that had that kind of charisma, and Lance had it. So we were lucky enough to bring him on board really early. And then Nicole Bahari, man, like she's Juilliard trained. I mean, she did American Violet back in the day, and she has 42. Coming out, she's playing Jackie Robinson's wife in the new biopic that's coming out in April. So
she's the new thing to be reckoned with.
She's about to blow up, man. I just, you know, we were so lucky to be able to work with her. So our casting director was able to get us Nicole, Keith David, and Harry and Darren Henson. But you know, I felt there were opportunities where we could put some new talent on as well, like the sister, the best friend, the the agent. You know, all very important roles to the story of the film, but they were all pretty much brand new actors, and they were like super strong. And everybody just like stepped their game up, man. So we're really blessed to have that mix of just like super new, up and coming, and just like veteran talent, like just all in this film. It really worked out well.
What's your next project?
Man, well, I'm actually shooting a web series next, like something more comedic. It's called Almost 30. It kind of deals with that whole angst of, you know, coming into your 30s and not really being where you want to be. But my next feature, man, is going to be it's going to be different. It's going to be dark and kind of gritty. Like, I really want to touch on this concussion issue. If I was to compare it to 2 movies, it's like a football version of The Wrestler meets He Got Game. So you have this older player who's kind of going through these mental issues, that's desperately trying to reconnect with his son. And his son is like a standout player in college. And he's about to get drafted to the league, and so he's just like trying to desperately kind of reconnect with them and like kind of get his life back together before he, does something he might
regret.
Yeah.
This has been Clent Bowers with the Artists Forum on the West Coast with Matthew A. Cherry, and we've had a wonderful time talking to you about The Last Fall, which will be at the Rave Theater in Baldwin Hills. This Friday. Everybody grab your uncles, your aunts, your mom, your dad, sisters and brothers. This is a clean film. There's no profanity, no vulgarity, no nudity. It's a clean film about morals and the coming of age of a young man who played football. And it happens to be loosely based autobiographically. We want to thank you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.